Oh, all right. Now I seem to be on. Are you the one on here looking at that one person? I ain't gonna be here long now. You know I gotta. I'm gonna see who's gonna jump on here, and then when it's time for me to get on, I'm gonna jump on, and do my next rep stuff. Hold on, let me put the phone down because you see me. I'm talking on the phone. I didn't even say anything. Hey, YouTube. You're the one watching? Do you see it? If nobody jumps on here, I ain't staying on here long.
You've only been on for 30 seconds.
That's what I'm saying. Most time people jump on there real quick within the next couple of minutes. But if nobody jumps on there, that means they're not really busy. Wait a minute. I don't see no comments. Let me see.
Just kidding.
Now I see two people on here.
Somebody might be doing the podcast for a while.
Hey, Naj. See, somebody on here. Go ahead. You're a new subscriber. I've never seen you before. How are you doing? All right, David, you get off the phone now because you're gonna be on the sound. You on here? Comment on here, David, because you ain't saying nothing. What? How are y'all doing? I never seen you before, Naj. Let me see. 111. All right, David, crazy butt. Oh, you just subscribed 5 minutes ago? Well, welcome, welcome. David, you always got something funny. Well, thank you for the sub. Anyways, make sure y'all hit the thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. So anyway, I'm not gonna be on long. As you can see, I just watched. Oh, you just saw the Grubhub videos? Those were back in the day when I was doing Grubhub. It's been over what? A little bit over a year since I've done Grubhub. Yep. David, I know you too long to be honest. So, yeah, those were the old days when I did Uber Eats, Grubhub. Most of my videos, I talked about Grubhub because I did that, what, maybe 35, 40 hours plus a week back in the day with my antics of those crazy deliveries I used to do. And I was able to um, do live videos when I was in the car. But those days are gone. The good old days. The pre-Teresa of talking crazy with these crazy ass cheap customers. Yeah, I had some experience. I had some very scary experiences. But pretty much it's safe. You know, when I used to go to some crazy neighborhoods and it was pretty bad. One time I went to an area in the West End. I don't know if you're from Atlanta, but one time I went to deliver and it was like at an abandoned house. And I was like, what the hell? All up in the crust of the hood. And it was at past midnight. And I remember coming up to the house and I said, ain't nobody here. And I was way out of my element too. Trust and believe. I did not go in that house. I said, nope. I sat there, came up, made a phone call. They weren't there. I left because sometimes people will make fake deliver addresses or whatever, and hey, Hardin 54, and people would you go up there and they be trying to rob you. They really would set you up too. So you have to always be on your P's and Q's and know where to go, and don't be, you know, don't let your guard down. That's all I could say. But pretty much, you know, I had people who walked. One guy walked up on me one time with a gun, and he was coming. He was behind me in some apartment complex, and I'm like, "Where the fuck are you?" And he come walking up. It was during the daytime. He wasn't doing carrying the gun just to carry to do nothing crazy to me. He was just walking up with the gun in his not even a holster. Little gym shorts, and you got the gun in your gym. Now that gun could have slipped and blew his dang dick off, dumbass. Come walking up, you know, from the opposite way from where your apartment was. So, yes, you gotta have street smarts. I grew up in the Bronx in New York, and my father used to always say, "Do not be in the back of the train. Go right in the front where the train conductor is." And I always kept my eyes afloat. Even when I lived in Atlanta, when I moved to Atlanta in '96, up there in Moreland Avenue, before it was gentrified. That area was a little bit sketchy too, walking from the train station home. And I used to have me a switchblade right there ready to use. Anybody come walking up on me. I ain't carrying no gun. But you gotta have eyes in the back of your head sometimes. You ain't walking up on me. But I know y'all knew the story when I used to work at Domino's around last year when I was going to that Raggedy Motels up there on Lawrenceville Highway, and someone ordered pizza, and then I'm calling you on the phone. Hold on, I'll be right, and you ain't come to the door, and I go leaving in between the breezeway. These two guys who had guns in their hand. They didn't rob me, but they were like, "Go ahead, go ahead." But they were looking for somebody. So, I kept calm, but trust me, I was scared. But other than that, you just have to be aware. And sometimes, most of the time, people really don't mess with women, because it's like a code. They're not really going to mess too much with women, when you doing deliveries and stuff like that. They're not going to try to do nothing crazy, you know. They're going to be like, oh no, she old enough to be my auntie, so you know, they see if you hustling. They don't tend to mess with women too much when it comes to trying to rob anybody. Shut up. What the thing, tablet? How the tablet hears me all the way from across the room. So basically, turn this off. So basically, you have to kind of be aware of your surroundings when you're doing these deliveries. Whether you do Uber Eats, Grubhub, Domino's, wherever. But many of times I should tell people, God has really blessed you and kept you safe. Sure did. I don't drive up to people's house, even if it's a nice neighborhood and it be pitch black dark. I'll call before I walk up to the door. Excuse me, um, I'm not walking up to your house in the dark. People don't know how to put their. You ordered food. How you have the whole lights out? So I don't walk up to no door at night. Even if it's a nice, safe neighborhood, I'll call them, and then they're gonna have to come outside and meet me at the car. But those days of late deliveries, nope, no more. It ain't even worth it now, especially with the Rona going around. It ain't worth it, in my opinion. It's not. It's not worth it. Ain't worth the beans. But anyway, what was I supposed to talk about? I ain't gonna stay here long because I'm working from home with the infomercials for Next Rep. You know, when people call those infomercials. So I'm about to get on the phone and see what fools I'll be talking to tonight, especially on these infomercials. They calling in there trying to waste your time. So we're gonna see what's going on with that scenario. But I'm still doing, working from home for the other company and doing the independent 1099 with the infomercials, and then with the merchandising. Today they gave me an assignment for $300, and it was to take some pictures. But before I could look at it, it was supposed to be started due tomorrow. But it was like $300 and something dollars, and I somehow or another somebody must have took it. They couldn't took all of those stores at once. So I'm still doing my other gigs, but pretty much um I'm just doing different things, making little extra change here and there, and that's about it. Now, in regards to the second, good, you still have steady income during this pandemic. Yeah, but you know what though? There's a whole lot of jobs that I come across that's looking for people to work from home. Now, I can't tell you the company that I work for. Some of y'all I speak to personally, y'all know the company. But put it this way. Kelly Connect is one company that's looking for people. Another company is Transcom and Concentrix. And what's the other one? T-Tech. I worked at T-Tech at the local office here in Atlanta. They look at a lot of those companies, which are called business solution companies. They basically support major companies like AT&T, Apple. They're looking for people. They hiring people to work from home, and they pay anywhere from like 12, 13, 14. Some of them may pay 15 an hour, but pretty much there's opportunities to people to work from home. It's just the fact that a lot of people, they got this thing in their mind, oh, I don't want to work for no one. I'm going to do Uber Eats, Grubhub, and I think the future of those food deliveries is not really going to be as profitable. Now, some people been spilling things on the internet that Grubhub is going to buy, no, Uber Eats is going to buy Grubhub and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm not saying it's a rumor, but in order for that deal to happen, they're going to either have to do it now before the government really starts regulating how these companies misclassify people as 1099 and their employees and all the lawsuits and everything else. And I think that, you know what I think, in my opinion, when last year, when they was doing that strike about people were like striking and better pay and better, um, you know, better pay and benefits and all that kind of stuff. If they had done that now in the season of the pandemic, where all these restaurants closed and offered, hey Romeo, and all these restaurants closed and they had to resort to delivery. And I think if people were to now band together for better pay, I think they would have been better off doing it in this type of climate versus them trying to do it last year when they were striking. Because see, everybody is not going to participate in that strike at the time. Because some people are like, well, no, I need my money because unemployment, um, depending on who you are, was not as great. And people weren't really trying to go back to look for a regular job or they couldn't. So they did those food deliveries as a way of income to make money. Now, fast forward now, if 2020 sites 2020 with this pandemic happened and all the restaurants closing down, and then a lot of these uh, companies like fast food, in particular, are using these food delivery apps, Uber Eats, DoorDash. Those are the two major ones that I've started to notice in Atlanta. Grubhub and Postmates and all the rest of them, yeah, they still in the market, but Grubhub and Uber Eats, well, Uber Eats in particular, when they acquired McDonald's, and then when they started acquiring Chick-fil-A and all the other big major chains, fast food, those were the primary ones that people were, that those companies were tailoring towards. They started going away from the small, independent restaurants, Chinese restaurants and the small independent local restaurants. That's when you was making the most money. 4 years ago when I started, well, it's almost it almost would have been 4 years ago. They started when I did Uber Eats and Grubhub. The pay was pretty good. See, people weren't most of the places that I went to was small, chain type restaurants, not big fast food places. They didn't have a delivery service. So the services where you got the most money came from those type of places. So when those contracts ended, because see, what I did was I always spoke to those restaurants and I asked them about it. They said all of them, especially those Indian restaurants, they had 4 tablets all on the counter. All of them were lit up. Bling, ling, ling. Everybody was ordering from all those places. Postmates, Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash, all of them. Even Zifty. I did Zifty too. And when all those companies started, all those fast food restaurants, not fast food, all those restaurants like the Indian restaurants, Asian restaurants, Chinese restaurants, noodle places, they started using it. That's when you made the most money. Then when that contracts ended, because some of those contracts was 2-year contract, they had paid $500 and then per activation, then they paid Uber Eats and Grubhub 30-40% of the revenue. So they had to raise the prices up so they get paid the fees. That's how Grubhub and Uber Eats and all those companies made their money. And then on top of that, they took the percentage from the delivery drivers where it was 25%, and then they went up and said, oh, we taking, no, it was 15%, then they went to 20%, then they went and took 25%. Then I think they went as high as 30% because everybody said, well, shoot, I could make more money doing food deliveries and drive less. And they made more money. The per rate per hour was higher than driving people around. So when everybody started jumping on board doing food delivery apps, yep, exactly. Now let me go back to some of the questions y'all asked. Do you think it's wise to reopen the religious place right now? First of all, you can't close down the church. You can't close down God. That's just a building. So church and state, in regards to saying Trump talking, well, we go now open churches. First of all, No man could dictate about when you could open up God. That's just a building, you know. So to say that's why you don't really hear people talk about. They didn't mention, oh, we have to close down the churches. Now, if I was a church or religious organization and somebody from the state was to mandate that churches be closed or you get fined, that's a loss. I ain't gonna say it's a lawsuit, but that is against church and state. So I'm surprised nobody really correlated that narrative about church and state and all the viruses. Now, of course, the church is going to be responsible. They're going to be more responsible and say, okay, we can't close down God, but we are still the church, even though you may not be in the physical presence of a building to congregate together to worship. And for safety reasons, they're going to say, because they have a lot of elderly people, they got a lot of people with compromising health issues. So they're going to say, okay, we're gonna still worship God and we're going to do it online. And they do it online services. So the church, the fact that they didn't bring the church to say, okay, now your church could be open. And they put it because it's not controlled by a government entity. It might be a public service issue, but it's not something that, like Trump. Y'all can now open for church. Who the hell are you to say that? So to me, if individual churches, if they choose to open, they're looking at it from a perspective of safety. You have to use your common sense. God gave you common sense. God gave you power of free will. So that's my opinion about that. So to me, there is no such thing as reopen religious places. You're reopening a building that represents a religious gathering, but you can't close down God. If God wanted to put this pandemic as a way of teaching people a lesson, to sit their butt down and to reflect and not thinking, oh, I'm enslaved in my own house. Man, live on the street and then then you come back and talk about you being enslaved. All this foolishness that's going on now. See, as the pandemic began, everybody was like, be safe. We all in this together. I think it's worse. I've seen way stupid stuff. Black people getting killed, choked, people making comments about Asian people. You brought the virus. It seems to be more violence has occurred since this coronavirus came about, in my opinion. In my opinion, I think it's gotten people has showed their ass and they thinking they privileged. So don't get me on. That's a new topic. Don't get me on that because I just saw the video about that stupid ass lady in Central Park with the man told her to put the dog on the leash and she's screaming, "It's a black man. He trying to attack me, but bitch, I would have beat the shit out of you if somebody was to You know what? I'm gonna be calm. I'm gonna be calm because I've been watching. I've finally started reading the stories with the black man in Minnesota getting the police officer choke. I didn't want to get into that topic because it's gonna make me mad. So I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there because some of the things I've seen and the people with the privileged, they think they privileged. And I'm, what I'm gonna say about all that is that people who talking about, I feel like I'm enslaved in my own house. I can't. We shouldn't be sanctioned to stay home. You wait till the fall come. People are not going to learn their lesson. Now it's going to come back worse. Now, I'm not saying God brought on this virus or he brought on this type of situation, but people are going to have some lessons to learn. That's my opinion on that. So You can't open up God. You know, I couldn't. I couldn't even watch it. I can't even watch it. All the stupid things, people calling people cops on people. So where's it taking my dog? He's a black man. I just watched that video maybe 2 hours ago. And I was like, didn't think of it. She got fired from her job and they took the dog away or whatever. But I just can't, hey Amy, I can't go and follow it. If you keep putting it in your mind, said it's too much. I just can't. You know, I just can't do it. I don't even have TV, so I try not to even follow up behind that because it's the same thing over and over again. So I just don't watch it. Now, what's the other question? Yep, Amy. Hey, Amy Lynn. Yeah, customer service. Yeah, people are privileged. They rude. Don't talk about the ones on the phone. Yeah, they did fire that dumb bitch. They sure did. I just read it. They fired her stupid ass. I am curious how homeless people are handling the crisis because I don't know. I don't know. Let me see what else I'm gonna say something. But right now the restaurants are fighting back this good. What do you think about cops before and right now? I have no opinions what I think about cops. I just don't. I don't care if they're black or white. I have no opinions about cops. All that. Oh, you a hero. Oh no. Nope. Nope. How you a hero? That's your job. I'm not trying to be a bitch, but when people say, "Oh, they the hero," that's your job. You signed up to be in the healthcare. You signed up to be firefighters. Yeah, you're a hero when you come to do your job, but that's your duty. So I don't know. People are throwing this hero thing a little bit too much. It's too much. You know, you thank people for the service that they do, but don't put them to a high pedestal to the point where people are worshiping people. You could be appreciative of people, but I think that's a little bit too much now. Amy, what do you mean? Oh wow, oh my, about what? I'm not the only one who feel this way. I think a lot of people are scared to say it. I mean, I appreciate the jobs people do, but to put hero, I think that's a little bit too much. Show appreciation to people for doing the jobs and working as hard they do and spending hours and hours to help people, but don't hero worship. Maybe that's what I want to say more. Don't hero worship. You know, to me, I think that's too much. Now, if you want to honor people in those type of fields for the hard work they do, give them a title of heroes work here. Okay, good. But what good is hero worshiping? If you value someone that if you value groups of people and working in this type of situation, don't wait till some major disaster happens to suddenly, oh, they heroes. What happened before? Before the virus, people could give 10 shits about doctors, nurses, and everybody else in the health field and people who deliver food. They give two rat shits about it. But the minute something happened, You're my hero. Everybody want to act weak-minded and acting like, I don't know. You can be appreciative of people, pay people for what they're worth. I don't give a dang about, oh, they my hero. Okay. Hero ain't gonna feed nobody. Putting a little balloon, they my hero, it ain't paying nobody's bills. You know? If they such a hero, pay them properly for the job they do. So that way we won't be in a shortage of healthcare crisis, which we've been in before this happened. Then all of a sudden people want to be, oh, they hero. Yeah. You didn't appreciate people before. If you don't appreciate people before something happens, don't try to hero, don't be worshiping after the fact. And then you doing it in a way where you're not even paying them properly. All of a sudden they can't get masks. Healthcare workers can't get masks. They can't get the basic things. But people want to throw around the title. Heroes, but you don't treat people as heroes. Don't idol worship. Don't idol worship. I think that's idol worshiping, in my opinion. The city, county, state, and the person. Romy, you always speak in incomplete sentences. I don't understand what you're saying. Yeah, Amy, I just found out myself. Yeah, she got fired, but let me tell you, just because she got fired, but she gonna still be on Fox News and all these other major networks talking about her side of the story. I'm not a racist. And then somebody wanna shoot, she ain't losing no money. That bitch is not gonna lose no money. She may have lost her job. She may not get another job in that particular financial firm doing whatever she was doing, but somebody gonna be right there. One of those white supremacist racist groups is gonna be right there and offer her a job. They're probably gonna offer her a better job. Oh, on Fox News. Oh, you could be our financial correspondent, talk about finances and business on our TV show and give her $1 million plus to host some right wing conservative news outlet. So she ain't losing nothing. Give it about 2 years and then she gonna get money. All right, David, crazy butt. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And then we talk about then I'm gonna invite you on my panel thing tomorrow. Yeah, so she ain't gonna lose no money. That bitch ain't gonna lose no money. She gonna be right up there and do her little crying act. I'm not a racist. You know, I felt threatened. Yeah, but if the cops came, if New York NYPD came and shot that man over her lying ass, then she would have been hired on some, that's why I didn't want to talk about it. All right, David. Shoot. What was that lady? What was that dumb bitch name? Amy? What was her name? Kathy? What was her name? Whatever the hell the bitch name was. She would have had that man shot if NYPD came at Central Park. It was her anxiety. Anxiety my ass. She would have had somebody, yeah, Amy Cooper, dumbass. Just like that person who in Central Park years ago in the late 80s, when those group of black men, some white woman accused five black men, I think it was, of rape, and they went to prison for 20 years, and they just got out maybe 2 years ago and turned around. It wasn't even true, you know. Talk about she was raped. The Central Five. What was it? This Central Park Five. I remember that when that happened in New York. This white woman accused of being raped in Central Park, and she jogging at midnight, and so about she got attacked by five black men and got raped, and then turned around. They arrested five black men. They were innocent, and the only reason why they got off years later was because of what, the DNA test, and then turned around she lied. Really? You know? Nope. Stuff like this always been happening. Even when I lived in, I'm 51, and I remember, the same lady. Her name was Smallwood too, and she got shot. And this is in New York, in front of her house. She was a grandmother and got shot, and they thought she was gonna attack somebody. So all of this stuff been happening. All of this has been going on. You know what, Romy? I don't even care about no Mitch McConnell. What he got is, what? He's an old white cracker. Talk about nothing. I'm waiting for his ass to croak. Get the hell on. I don't care. Move the hell on. Him and a whole bunch of other foolish people in Congress. They 90 years old. Just hurry up. Hurry up. Get rid of them. I'm sick of them. I don't even follow. I don't even follow politics like that. I'm gonna do my due diligence. Vote. They all do. They all do. So I can't we can't bring your mind up on these people. They're not gonna change. Things ain't gonna change. I ain't gonna wrap my mind on it. It's this stuff like this that's going on in the world now ain't new. It's not new. All I know, I'm gonna wait, see what when fall come, see what the virus is gonna do, and all the people who act like they so housebound, can't stay home, going out to all of stuff, breathing on people. They won't see. They are going to see. Now, as for that second stimulus bill, it may be good, it may be great, but I can assure you, it's gonna be a disaster financially. I looked at my 401k, my thrift plan statement. I opened that thing up yesterday. It was a couple months ago. I lost $10,000 damn dollars. $10,000. I was like, what the fuck? That thing stock market dropped for those couple months. I lost $10,000 of my retirement plan. I was like, what the hell? I had 60,000 plus dollars. That thing went down to 50,000 something. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, ugh. So I said, you know what? I'm glad I got that 15, 20 more year mark. The market will pick back up. It will. So I have to sit in this for the long run. Because it ain't always going to, the financial market will go back up. So I guess I gotta wait and see if I recoup some of that money within a year. Yeah, it'll build back up, but when you first that if because you have to look at investment that it goes up, it goes down, then it comes back up. But we're gonna have to hurry up when November comes. All I want for my birthday before all I want for my birthday is another president. That's all I want. I don't give a damn who it is. I don't care who it is. But if God forbid Trump stays in office, he gets reelected, The only good outcome that come from that is that you got to endure another 4 goddamn years of that fool, and hopefully people in Congress will stale and he be a lame duck president for 4 years, because at that point they don't have to listen to what he has to say. The only good thing I could see coming out of him being president and being reelected is this. The only thing that comes out of that is that, one, you could only serve a total of 8 years. The last 4 years, they could stale anything he do. The Republicans at that point, they don't have a chokehold. They have to follow him and be quiet and follow what he needs to do. They could stale anything. Put him as a lame duck president, like they did President Obama. You know, a lot of things he wanted to pass, those Republicans blocked a lot of things. They could do the same thing to Trump, because see, they have no obligation at that point. They're gonna say, you know what, this your last 4 years. They don't gotta do nothing. The next 4 years come, they're gonna be another election where you're gonna have to vote for the House and Senate in those 4 years again. And those people who really itching to, most of them so damn fucking old that they probably gonna retire anyway. So you're gonna have a whole new blood of people, and it's gonna be a whole new generation of politicians who have different viewpoints. And that's why it's important to do the census, because those census, I was looking at someone's video yesterday, not on YouTube, one of those CNN, and he was saying how the red belt state, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, was those states that you had to win the presidency. They said that those going to change. They said it's going to be Texas, Phoenix, and Phoenix, not Florida. It's not a swing state. Those swing states that people were thinking about, it's going to be Texas, Phoenix, and somewhere in the South. I want to say North Carolina might be one, because the demographics is going to change. So they was thinking that those are going to be the important states that the Democrats have to win. They don't have to win Pennsylvania, Ohio, those Florida. Those ain't going to be the swing states, because it's going to be a high percentage of Hispanic communities, high Hispanic people with the voting blocks and the Electoral College. Now, I want to go into no education about the Electoral College and how the voting system works. That's another video altogether. I've learned that for the last 20 years. If you ever gone to college and study political science, you should know what that is. And I understand that very well. So anybody wants to talk about that, we could talk about that on a new video, but I ain't got time to educate. So, but all I'm saying is people need to focus on making sure they fill out that census. And if you fill out the census, it will draw the new political lines, and that's how they determine how many electoral college and how many people could sit in the House of Representatives is all based on that census. So everybody talk about vote, vote, vote. Please go make sure you're ready to vote. Make sure you take that damn census. You know, that's important. That's how money is given towards communities. That's how they draw the political lines. So all these gerrymandering, when people move out of gentrified neighborhoods and they move, that's how they determine the political lines and stop gerrymandering. As long as gerrymandering is being done, that's how they have Republicans and Trump get into office. That's how they determine the number of seats in the House. That's how they determine it on a state level. So, I don't know. I mean, you ask me questions. I don't know everything. don't have any kids, so I don't know. I don't have no investment in terms of what's going on from pre-K to college. I don't know. All I know, these parents and stuff need to educate their own children, educate your own kids, and get off that damn games and stuff. That's my opinion. I'm supposed to stay on my topic. So I already talked about my recap of the week. I already spoke about I didn't even speak about the second stimulus. If the second stimulus pass, if it pass, they're just waiting to see what's going to happen with the economic outcome of how people are going about the economy with this first stimulus. And they're going to see how opening up the economy and how it's going to come up until maybe around the 4th of July, how the economy is going to be. So if the economy picks up steam and things are not as bad as it's going to appear, of course, Trump's going to take credit and thinking, oh, it's, I tell you, the economy, if the economy goes back in upswing because of this first stimulus package and the economy doesn't take a dip for the worse, they may not pass no stimulus. Now, maybe they passed it today. I don't know. But it only passed it with the House. It didn't pass the Senate or vice versa. But they're not going to be releasing no second stimulus anytime soon. Now, unless the news thing updated quicker than I didn't know, then we're going to see what happens with that. But it depends on how the economy not recovers. It depends if the economy comes back up. So January, February, March, April, May, June. So the third quarter starts July. So that's the third quarter of the year. So July, which is so happen to be around 4th of July, if that third quarter of the year picks back up and the market goes back up and things seem copacetic, then they may give out another stimulus package, but it may be in a different form it's supposed to be called a heroes package. So everything's going to be done. It's going to matter right around the third and the fourth quarter of the year. The third, fourth quarter of the year is going to determine. Now, of course, the fourth quarter, by then, we'll be in election year. Well, we'll be in election period. So as the fall comes, that election is going to start really steaming up. That's when it's going to really have a push. See, right now, you don't hear too much about it because the primaries are not open yet. And I need to find my voter ballot that I got in a couple weeks ago so I could vote for the Georgia primary for the, for Biden because, he's not officially nominated yet. So, all right, y'all, I got a few more minutes. And after that, I'm going to get off because I got to get on the phone call and do at least an hour. But yeah, Romeo. So not answer your question, but that's just too broad of a topic to talk. I can't, but what I think about the school system from pre-K to college, I can't, that's too broad, I don't know. I don't have no comment about that. I don't have no comment about that. That's too broad of a topic. That's not a, stay within the realm of my topic and discussion when you ask questions or comments. You go to left field. I can't, that ain't nothing to talk about. That's a video all in itself. But all I know is this. This thing of this virus has caused a whole lot of restaurants in Atlanta. Someone Walter Lee Hampton III. He's another YouTuber. He mentioned it about list of different very good, big restaurants in Atlanta that have been around for 25, 30 years because of this virus thing has closed those restaurants down permanently, went out of business. And they in the Buckhead area. They not in no raggedy areas either. These were very reputable restaurants. Man, when I found out P.F. Chang's went out of business, I was like, hell no, P.F. Chang's didn't go out of business. Not my P.F. Chang's that I used to. I didn't go there on a regular basis, but they had the best wings, not wings. What did I used to eat over there when I got there one time? Oh, they had the best ribs. I don't know what it was. Man, P.F. Chang's went out of business. I was like, oh my God, not my P.F. Chang's. Right there near Perimeter Mall. Not Perimeter Mall. Right up there on Dunwoody. And he listed a whole bunch of places that went out of business. And I ain't talking about no nasty McDonald's, Burger King type places. I'm talking about really good restaurants. Top of the line restaurants. Boy, I was like, dang. I'm gonna have to look that up. It was in the AJC and they were listing. So a lot of those great restaurants didn't survive. And then it got me to thinking, I said, dog, if they went out of business like that, and these were in high class areas too. Because, yeah, you could do delivery, but there's a lot of places in Atlanta of restaurants that used to be, that's what it was. The places where these commercial business, these restaurants were in these commercial spaces, they couldn't afford the rent. The rent was too high. It was too many months to pass for them to pay it. And then these people who owns the commercial land, they wanted their money. And the restaurants couldn't afford to pay it. And they said, nope, they had to close down. So this economy and that stimulus package helped a lot of businesses get millions and millions of dollars. Some people did some scams, which is another story altogether. But even with that stimulus, and places were getting millions of dollars to stay afloat, to pay for payroll, there's no bringing it back. You can give money all day long. You could pass 10 stimulus, but just like businesses, just like individuals, they needed that money to pay bills. How much you could pay with $1,200? One bill, you may pay, one bill, maybe 1 month's rent or 1 month mortgage. You give that same millions to businesses, how much can you have a payroll of $500,000 and you got a small staff at that. Say you pay $20,000 salary and you got 5 people. That's $1 million for 5 people to pay their salary for a year. So when people say big businesses get money, they got millions and millions of dollars. Can you, dum-dums, can you imagine what the payroll is alone? So when people say stuff like that, I was like, use your common sense. Even if you had to pay a salary, the payroll, and you got $20,000 that you have to pay individuals, that's $1 million. That's $1 million just for paying $20,000 a year. So you can't really. Yeah, no one's paying those high end prices to eat at home. Yeah, you know how much money I saved? Yeah, I still go to COVID. I still go to Culver's and buy some. Not every day, and I don't eat at Chick-fil-A every day either. I've saved quite a lot of money in the last couple of months. Not, I mean, I still eat out, so don't get me wrong. I still go to Culver's and get, I mean, occasionally get some things during the week, but in terms of groceries and stuff like, I'm not really spending a whole lot of money eating out. So I'm not spending as much like I used to, but I'm not, you know, if I was to really say, you know what, I'm not going to eat out and go to Culver's at all. And since I found my new passion of eating Culver's, then now after eating it for a couple of weeks, now I'm getting tired of eating it. So I'm not going to be eating it as much anymore. I went there today, but they gave me a free coupon. So um I said, no, you're not about to give me that bag after you just went to the other car to give them their food. I'm like, you're going to give each person supposed to get their own bag individually. He had it, and I said, no, because I couldn't tell if the person touched the bag. And I said, no, I'm sorry, you make it over. Then it took so long. I said, what happened to my food? Then they came, and I drove back around the building. And I said, I didn't get my order yet. I was waiting. And then somehow they missed my order. They had to remake it because I told them that they had to remake it. Because the thing was, he had a bag from the car in back of me, had my bag with their bag, and he talking and they like looking. So if someone touched that, nope. I said, then I saw in the back of the window you had went to somebody else's car with my bag, and I couldn't tell if they touched it. So just in case, well, it's still in the bag. No, they touched it. Somebody else touched it. The purpose of you having a drive-through to get the food was to not have people order it and pick it up. So they remade it again. So no big deal. But it was a big deal to me. If I'm looking at the back of the window in my car and I see you having the bag to somebody else and that was my bag, why do you think I'm gonna get it? Just because it was in the bag. They still touched it. I don't know, they could have breathed on it. So they remade it over. All right, y'all, hold on a second, because I gotta log on for an hour. What the hell? Hold on. Turn my thing around. So, So I got my I had to wait and everything. It was taking. They forgot about me, and I had to go back and see what happened to it. All right, y'all. I'll be back in a minute. Oh shoot! Put it on. All right, I'm back. Okay, so I'm waiting for a phone call to come through. So when it comes on in, you're gonna see me come off camera for a minute and take the call. So hey, Amy Ling, you have a good night too. Make sure y'all hit the thumbs up on the way out. If you haven't subscribed, I appreciate if you subscribe. Yeah, but I don't know. That stimulus is all going to depends on what happens probably around July, 4th of July. Now, unless they pass it today, then that's the only way. But I'm gonna look it up and see. But I don't recall they did. Maybe they did or maybe they did. Who knows? I know one thing. Someone told me they may forgive $10,000 of student loans. I was like, shoot, I hope it was more than that. Who is Dark Child from Detroit? Beverly Douglas. Why that name seemed to come out of the blue? Weren't you one of my channels one time? For some reason, I remember your name from some source. Dang, it went down to 2 people. I ain't gonna stay here long if y'all ain't gonna. So, anyways, all right, down to 1. All right, let me say my good nights. Beverly, Amy, Nashi, thanks for joining my channel. Romeo, Amy, Dorian, I know David. Who else is on here? Pardon. All y'all. Y'all have a good night. So I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. I think I talked about my topics today. Yeah, pretty much. Alrighty. So I'll be on tomorrow night. And tomorrow night I'm gonna try to put down the link so I can have some people join into my chat on live stream. So I don't be talking to myself. So anywho, y'all have a good night. Like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it.